Now at 7, the latest on a shooting in southeast Portland that left one person dead earlier this morning. Thomas Schultz joins us live with what we know so far.
And comedian Jimmy Kimmel suddenly pulled off the air after making controversial comments about the man who shot and killed Charlie Kirk. The latest details coming up in our national headlines.
And we also have an update to a story that's been 2 years in the making. A typewriter shop in southeast Portland, now the home of an officially autographed Tom Hanks typewriter. How it all happened coming up at 7:15. Sunrise streaming live at 7 starts right now. Good morning, and thank you for joining us live at 7 o'clock. I'm China Green.
And I'm Corey Johnson in for Drew Carney today. Chris McGinnis is standing by for a look at your weather and forecast.
Yeah, good morning, ladies. We are waking up the clouds down below, but I wanted to take you up above to Timberline. That cloud deck here extends up to about 3,500 feet. The marine clouds pushed in overnight, just like we expected, but it's nice and clear overhead. So eventually those clouds will erode and we will see some sunshine. For now, it's cloudy over downtown, and at last check at PDX, 59 degrees now at the airport. It's 52 in Hillsborough, Wilsonville waking up to 58, and down to the south, last check in Salem, 58 interstate capital as well. All right, the plan for Thursday, morning clouds giving way to some sunshine. I think by late morning we will finish off the day sunny and a little breezy, kind of like yesterday. Northwest winds on the order of about 10 to 20, and today's high in Portland, 77 degrees. Let's get you out the door with a look at the roads, and we start off. I want to zoom in actually to the Gladstone area because I-205 southbound now. I don't have a crash or anything like that, but it's pretty thick from just south of there down to the Abernathy Bridge. Of course, it's always thick this hour of the morning out of Clark County, and there's the live look down near the Interstate Bridge. I-5 southbound moving from right to left. Traffic's starting to build a bit there. We're up to 20 minutes now to get you in from Main Street to the Freeport Bridge. Ladies?
All right, thanks, Chris. We'll see you in just a bit. Well, we've got some breaking news out of southeast Portland this morning where one person has been detained following a deadly shooting.
It happened just after 2 a.m. at a bar in the Montevilla neighborhood. Sunrise reporter Thomas Schultz joins us live from the scene on Southeast Harrison Street and 82nd. Thomas, I know it's been a busy morning of what you've seen out there from first responders to family. What's the latest out there?
Yeah, well, China and Corey, we just saw police detectives meeting with that family of the victim who identified that victim a couple of hours ago, leading to a lot of crying and screaming, griefs of anguish, as you can imagine. And that family's still out here this morning. The investigation is still underway here right off of Southeast 82nd. You can see right there, it looks like detectives continue to meet with some of the family members. Another family waiting for more information just behind the police tape. Police say when they arrived on scene, they found one man dead. Another man was hurt and taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. Police did detain one person and say at this time they're not looking for any additional suspects. The parking lot by Buddy's Lounge here off Southeast Harrison and 82nd has been taped off all morning long since just after 2 when this shooting first started. There's still a lot we don't know about what happened out here either. We don't know the name of the victim or the name of the person detained. We also don't know what led up to this shooting and how many people were involved. But all morning long, as you can imagine, if you were a family member yourself, many people out here, been out here all morning waiting for more information, waiting for answers about what exactly happened to their loved one, all amidst a lot of emotions, a lot of grief, a lot of sadness, unimaginable loss that a lot of these people are feeling out here this morning. China, Corey.
Thomas reporting live from Southeast Portland this morning. Thank you, Thomas. Your time now is 7:04. Today, the city of Portland is set to issue a land use violation notice to the ICE facility on South Macadam Avenue.
That's right. The city believes some detainees inside the facility were held overnight or for more than 12 hours, which is a violation of the land use conditions. Alma McCarty has the details.
Wednesday's city council meeting interrupted.
There's not a lot we can do about it.
Several in the chambers calling for the shutdown of Portland's ICE facility, halting the meeting not once, but twice.
Your conduct right now is disrupting our meeting. We have people who are here to do the business of the city tonight.
This display just hours after the mayor announced the city will issue a land use violation notice on Thursday.
This review was triggered by the federal government's breaking promises to our community regarding the detention of human beings.
Specifically, the city believes ICE violated its land use conditions 25 times in 10 months by detaining people for more than 12 hours or keeping them overnight.
This is just one step in a formal process. The outcome is not a foregone conclusion, and the federal government will be given an opportunity to respond.
Well, it's a good start in the right direction. I mean, it's progress. Any progress is good progress.
Protesters outside the facility for weeks and months reacting to this update.
We are a bit relieved, still kind of holding our breath, because everything takes a long time. And this building is not only an eyesore for the community, but it represents a lot of brutality.
They explain it's been a contentious scene between federal officers and demonstrators. And that tension's clearly visible in this interaction caught on camera Wednesday afternoon. A person over the blue line demarcating federal property is rushed by officers and then runs into traffic. We're told the person suffered minor injuries but will be okay. Meanwhile, Councilor Angelita Murillo says she'll be bringing forward 3 policies aimed at how ICE navigates in Portland, but tells me in this land use case, for now, council must remain neutral.
And I hope that this signals to Portlanders that we are going to hold everybody accountable, whether that be a local business or the federal government. The law applies equally to everybody as far as I'm concerned.
That was Alma McCarty reporting. Now, under the city's permitting rules, a landowner or operator, in this case, the federal government, has 30 days to correct the violation. Permitting and development can also initiate a reconsideration of a land use approval by scheduling a hearing at least 60 days after the notice. We've reached out to ICE for comment, but haven't heard back yet.
Meantime, ICE agents arrested 2 men in North Portland this weekend. On Monday, agents detained Felipe Aguilar Gama as he left for work. This doorbell video shows federal ICE agents moments before the arrest. Gama's daughter says that her father moved to the United States from Mexico 35 years ago. She says he's undocumented but was in the process of becoming a legal citizen. She recently returned from visiting him at the ICE detention center in Tacoma.
There's a lot of people sleeping together. I've never seen my dad cry, ever. And seeing that today just completely broke me. I mean, my dad has always been the strongest person I know.
On Tuesday, ICE agents also detained Rafael Ariola Caballero in North Portland. His daughter says that ICE agents damaged his car while taking him into custody. He is also undocumented and moved to the U.S. from Mexico 20 years ago.
This morning, we're hearing from the wife of a man who died while riding an e-scooter in southeast Portland. Stephanie DeBanio says her husband, Randy Phelps, was taken off life support last week. In August, Phelps was riding an e-scooter when witnesses say he flew off of it after hitting a bump along southeast 52nd Avenue and Mitchell Street. Now, Phelps was not wearing a helmet at the time of that incident. The owners of the nearby restaurant Toast tried to help Phelps after that accident, and they'll be holding a fundraiser on Monday for his family.
Shock, disbelief. I can't believe this is happening. We had just gotten back from vacation. His scooter was here and his glasses and hat and everything. So we came and got his belongings, and they just said any way that they can help, they want to help us.
The Portland Bureau of Transportation says they first received a report about the bump on August 29th and that crews will be repairing it today. Well, Seattle police are looking for the driver of a stolen car who jumped the University Bridge. Take a look at that video right there. You can see the car break through a crossing arm just before it crosses the partially open bridge. Police later found the totaled car less than a mile from that area. Officers were trying to stop the car after noting it was stolen, but the driver went around the bridge back up. Crews were able to quickly repair the crossing arm and keep the bridge open to traffic.
Your time now is 7:09. Taking a live look at the coast from our Chinook Winds sky cam. It looks very, is that foggy? Is that cloudy? I can't tell. Chris McGinnis, what am I looking at?
It's a North Oregon coastal morning, right? It's a little misty, maybe a little drizzly. I don't know. I call it moody. I'm going to roll a time lapse on that. That'll be fun to watch later. All right, we have cloud cover over downtown and over Vancouver right now. This is the live look from the Springs to the waterfront. And you can see cloud cover over the Columbia River, excuse me, and the Interstate Bridge. So yeah, we are waking up to that. this morning. And I can show you on the satellite imagery here how the marine layer has thickened up here, basically along and west of the Cascades. That marine air comes in, it builds back westward just before sunrise, and that's what we're seeing out there with the clouds forming across the region. It's not very thick cloud cover. I take you above the clouds to Timberline Lodge, and there you can see it down below. So this will erode fairly quickly today. It will go mostly sunny, but for now, it's mostly cloudy. It's 59 last check at PDX. The plan for today, again, Futurecast does a nice job of picking up those morning clouds. As I roll the clock on our model, that dissolves. Those disappear here by noontime or shortly thereafter, and we should finish the day with a really good-looking Thursday, and also a little breezy as well. Futurecast does show that northwest wind kicking in on the order of 15 to 20 miles an hour here in town. So just like yesterday, it'll be breezy, but it should be very, very nice with high temperatures climbing into the upper 70s, which is about average for this time of the year. Up and down the I-5 corridor, take yesterday's high temperatures and drop them about 3 or 4 degrees, and I think that's what we're looking at. Salem, you were in the 80s yesterday. Today we'll shoot for 77. Longview gets to 74, and the Oregon coast generally in the 60s today. Tomorrow, we warm it back up into the 80s. We keep the sunshine going Friday and Saturday. The chance of rain, guys, we'll look at this in just a few minutes. It's overnight Saturday into the first part of Sunday, and I'll show you that with Futurecast in just a few minutes. Let's get you out the door with a live look at the roads, and we start off. I'm going to zoom over to the west side. Looks like the inbound Sunset. Folks kind of riding the brakes a little bit coming down the hill from the zoo into the tunnel. Not that that's all that unusual, but we're watching it, right? We'll switch gears and take you over to the east side, Interstate 84 westbound traffic. And the taillight's pulling away from your screen out near 82nd Avenue. We're doing so kind of slowly right now. Westbound I-84 coming in from Troutdale, averaging about 22 minutes at last check. And as always, I can count on this every morning, and so too can the drivers. The I-5 drive is slow, 20 minutes to get you from Main Street to the Fremont Bridge.
Thank you, Chris.
On the way out, yeah, he said, hey, I'm going to send you an autographed typewriter out of my collection.
He's talking about actor Tom Hanks, who visited his typewriter shop right here in Portland back in 2023, and now 2 years later, he finally made good on his word. We have the update coming up when Sunrise Streaming Live at 7 continues.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
It's certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus.
2 years ago, actor Tom Hanks told the owner of a Portland typewriter shop that he'd send him a signed machine from his collection.
But after months of not receiving it, he figured it wasn't going to happen. But that was until last week. Devin Haskins shows us that special delivery.
In this quiet shop in Southeast Portland, the room filled with these metal machines of yesteryear.
For me, it's the connection to the word.
Anthony Volpe opened Typespace 4 years ago and saw success right away.
2 weeks after I opened, Willamette Week put us in their top 100 annual best businesses of Portland issue.
On the shelf are about 25 or so typewriters to buy, with another 150 being refurbished or fixed. Every piece here has written a story.
It makes my writing more intentional because I don't have cut and paste, delete. I really have to think about what I'm putting down.
Vlopi's shop attracts all sorts of customers, from collectors, first-timers, young, old, and even those from Hollywood. In 2023, actor Tom Hanks was in Portland for a book tour.
Just the nicest guy.
And stopped by.
So we just talked about typewriters, not much about his movies or things like that.
Hanks, a typewriter aficionado, stayed about an hour, bought one of the typewriters for his own use, and left.
On the way out, he said, hey, I'm going to send you an autographed typewriter out of my collection.
That was 2023.
I had kind of forgot about it altogether.
2 years later, after sending Tom's manager a message on another matter, he says they realized they forgot as well.
Said, we're going to get it out immediately.
A couple days later, a package.
I just got it in, yep.
A 1955 Rheinmetall typewriter from Germany, one from Hanks's personal collection, signed by him, as promised.
So it's going to stay at the front table here.
It's a piece of memorabilia and a piece of analog history.
People can come down and type on it. That's great. It's not hands off.
Proudly displayed, sitting front and center at Typespace. In Southeast Portland, Devin Haskins, KGW News.
Okay, finish the sentence. Life is like a box of chocolates.
You never know what you're going to
You
get.
never know what you're going to get.
Tom Hanks fans up in here. Look at
I
that.
love that's such a great movie. What was that? That was like 1995, I think. Oh, so many great movies.
But you know what's crazy is when you watch it as a kid and then you watch it as an adult, it's two different experiences.
Yeah,
Like I didn't understand a lot of it, but I liked it. And then growing up, I actually saw like kind of the deeper, more darker parts of it.
It's great when there's movies that can reach all audiences like
Yeah.
that, right? So, yeah.
Very cute.
Okay, as opposed to like the really simple ones like Joe versus the volcano. Did you see that one? Anyway, all right, let's get you out the door. Another Tom Hanks classic, right? All right, maybe more like a cult classic as opposed to a legit classic. All right, today we've got brief morning clouds, a cooler but breezy afternoon. So good looking day today. We keep the sunshine, we warm up the temperatures a bit for Friday and Saturday, which takes me to this. The weekend is looking 50-50-ish, right? If you got outdoor plans on Saturday, they look great. Of course, the Oregon State game Saturday should be really nice. That game being held, I believe it's in Eugene, right? It should be sunny for that. Saturday night into Sunday is when the rain comes in. So let me walk you through that real quick. This is Futurecast. If you're going to the beach for the final weekend of summer, Saturday looks great. Sunday will probably start off a little wet. That front approaches the region later Saturday afternoon and Saturday evening. So by Saturday night, it's raining at the coast. Overnight Saturday, that front sweeps on through. Here we are at 8 o'clock on Sunday morning, and if Futurecast is exactly right here, that front is basically passing on through the region right around breakfast time and out of here pretty quickly. Now, there could be a residual drop or two of rain on Sunday, but I think the sky will start to clear as we go through the day today. So quick shot of rain. Did I say today? I meant Sunday afternoon. Quick shot of rain. Doesn't look like a lot, maybe a few tenths to the north and less to the south. The gradient is less to the south, more to the north. Don't get too fixated on these numbers. They may shift around a little bit, but the better chance of heavier rain will be across the Columbia River in southwest Washington. Speaking of which, we'll take you there now. There's a couple flights taking off at PDX. Our camera from the Springs at the waterfront in Vancouver showing a slate gray sky over downtown Vancouver right now. Same story over Portland. That marine cloud cover has worked its way in to the Cascades, and so we're pretty solidly cloudy up and down the I-5 corridor this morning. But again, as we take you above the clouds from Timberline, you can see it's a pretty thin cloud deck, and so that should erode fairly quickly today. We're at 59, last check at PDX. As I mentioned, it'll be a little breezy and a little cooler today. Yesterday we hit 81. Today we dial it back to about 77, which is actually about average for this time of the year. Sunshine returns, full sunshine returns on Friday and Saturday with temps in the 80s. And then as we mentioned, that chance of rain comes in late Saturday night and early Sunday morning. Fall arrives on Monday with sunshine and temperatures in the upper 70s. Okay, let's get you out the door. A live look at the roads in Clark County. The I-5 drive, you know it, you love it. You probably don't love it, but you're used to it anyway. 20 minutes is what gets you in from Main Street to the Fremont Bridge right now. Over on the west side, Highway 26, coming down the hill from the zoo into the tunnel. We're riding the brakes a bit. And Interstate 84, that's the Banfield out near 82nd Avenue. Traffic getting busier, but so far, the freeway system behaving as we would expect for this hour of a Thursday morning. We'll be right back.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
It's certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
Jimmy Kimmel Live has been pulled off the air indefinitely.
That's right. This comes after he made controversial comments about conservative activist Charlie Kirk. NBC's Liz Kreutz has the details.
This morning, Jimmy Kimmel off the air. The host seen leaving his studio last night after ABC announced it's suspending his long-running late-night show indefinitely. During his monologue Monday night, Kimmel made comments about the shooting of conservative activist Charlie Kirk, accusing Republicans of reaching new lows in response to the 22-year-old alleged killer, who authorities say had a leftist ideology.
The MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them and doing everything they can to score political points from it.
The comments sparked outrage among many conservatives, including Brendan Carr, the chairman of the FCC, which oversees broadcast licensing for local stations, speaking on Wednesday afternoon, threatening to take action against ABC and its parent company Disney.
It appears to be some of the sickest conduct possible. I mean, look, we can do this the easy way or the hard way. These companies can find ways to change conduct, to take action, frankly, on Kimmel, or, there's going to be additional work for the FCC ahead.
Soon after, Nexstar, one of the largest television station groups in the country and currently seeking FCC approval for a merger, announced it would stop airing Kimmel on all of its ABC-affiliated stations. Within hours, ABC suspended Kimmel's show. Carr praising the move later in the evening.
I'm very glad to see that America's broadcasters are standing up to serve the interests of their community.
And on Truth Social, President Trump congratulating ABC for, quote, finally having the courage to do what had to be done. FCC Commissioner Ana Gomez, the lone Democrat on the panel, accusing the Trump administration of setting a dangerous precedent.
We must be careful not to allow the government to punish critics simply because of content.
Kimmel's suspension comes 2 months after CBS announced it was canceling their late-night show with another Trump critic, Stephen Colbert, CBS saying it was a financial decision. Over the last week, a growing number of people have been fired or suspended for their public comments about Charlie Kirk, something the vice president encouraged.
So when you see someone celebrating Charlie's murder, call them out. And hell, call their employer.
But some say what's happening now is a double standard.
Conservatives for many years now have claimed that they are the free speech champions. They have railed against so-called cancel culture. And now you're seeing them lead the campaigns to cancel people that they disagree with.
Now to your morning rush. Hundreds of thousands are fleeing Gaza City as Israel expands its ground offensive. Nearly 400,000 people have evacuated so far. The Israeli military says its forces are stepping up operations in the city and across the Strip. Earlier this week, it ordered residents to move south to a humanitarian zone. And President Donald Trump is wrapping up his second state visit to the UK. Today, the president met with the UK's Prime Minister discussing trade, the war in Gaza, and a new US-UK technology pact on AI and nuclear energy. The two leaders will close the visit with a joint press conference before Trump returns to Washington tonight. And San Diego International is back open after an hours-long ground stop. The FAA says a plane's nose gear failed around 6:40 last night, forcing flight delays and diversions. No one was hurt, and an investigation is currently underway. Plus, Starbucks workers in California, Illinois, and Colorado are all taking legal action against the company. They're saying it violated the law when it changed its dress code, but refused to reimburse employees who had to buy new clothes. Starbucks says its simplified dress code is meant to deliver a more consistent experience to its customers. And that's your morning rush. Well, coming up in our next half hour, Portland is spending nearly $20,000 to send City Councilor Candace Avalos and two other staff members to Vienna, Austria on taxpayers' dime. We'll take a look at how much the city is expected to spend on each person coming up. Plus, Furby, Elmo, and Battleship all have one thing in common. They're all finalists for this year's Toy Hall of Fame. Who else made the cut when Sunrise streaming live at 7 continues?
KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus.
We have now issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yes.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW Plus.
We are coming up on 7:29 on your Thursday morning commute. We take you to Clark County. That's the slowest of the inbound drives right now. 205 getting a little busy over the Glen Jackson Bridge, but the I-5 commute, of course, takes the cake. 23 minutes now in from Main Street. There's a live look near the Interstate Bridge. So slow and go says it on that side of town. Not that that's all that unusual, right? Interstate 84 a little tight coming in from 82nd Avenue as well. Right now that drive from Troutdale, a crisp, or not crisp, 27 minutes. Let's get you out the door. We are waking up to clouds across much of the Willamette Valley this morning. This is downtown Portland from our Wells Fargo sky camera, currently 59 degrees. The cloud deck is thin, but it does extend to the Cascades, so it'll take a while to burn off. But I think by mid to late morning here, we should start to see sunshine, and eventually we'll finish our day with sun and temperatures in the upper 70s. So a little cooler this afternoon than yesterday. It'll also be a little breezy, kind of like yesterday. We're back into the 80s on Friday and Saturday, and then that weekend rain chance rolls in late Saturday night. Should be out of here for most of us by mid-morning on Sunday.
Good morning. We're taking a live look at the state capitol this morning in Salem. It looks very picturesque. Now, typically when there's clouds up there, it could be dark, but it seems more bright. And I know that means like not rain, right?
Well,
Is that
thin.
accurate? They're thin. I don't know how to explain it. I'm not a meteorologist. They don't look
angry.
Ominous.
Yes. Yeah.
Angry.
Yeah, there you go.
know, like when I was growing up, there was a weather station in Philadelphia that they used, instead of like the really pretty weather graphics, they had the little stick on, like the cloud. And so for a storm, it was like a gray cloud with a frowny face.
Yeah, that's what that didn't look like.
It didn't look like
that. It looked like happy
The
clouds.
happy cloud.
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
and those happy clouds will be dissipating eventually. Let's get you out the door. Here's a live look from our Wells Fargo sky camera. It's cloudy to China's point. It's 59 degrees. Last check at the airport. It's also cloudy over southwest Washington. The live look from the springs along the waterfront here, showing the interstate bridge down below. My earlier point, though, is that those clouds are very, very thin, and I bring out Exhibit 3 here. This is from Timberline Lodge, 6,000 feet on Mount Hood, looking down on the tops of the clouds. So this marine layer will retreat here eventually, and we'll see sunshine as we go to the afternoon. But for now, 51 cool degrees in Beaverton, 59 in Vancouver, and down to the South Salem, checking in with 58. The plan for today, again, morning cloud cover. That should erode as we go towards the noon hour with temperatures inching into the upper 60s. And then we finish the day with highs today in the upper 70s. It will be a little breezy as well. Northwest winds picking up 10 to 20 later today. Your weekend forecast, Friday, Saturday, and beyond. I'll have that for you in a few minutes. How about a few minutes out of Clark County? That is your drive right now. It's more than a few. It's actually about 24 minutes to get you south on I-5 from Main Street to the Fremont Bridge. We'll give you the live look. Oh, I got the wrong clicker. I did it again. Ladies, help me out here. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and fast forward. Here we go. There's the live look at SR 14. You can see traffic slow and go coming across the bridge. Other drive times shaping up like this. They're tripping from Troutdale. 30 minutes right now on westbound I-84. Back to you.
Thank you, Chris. We are continuing to follow breaking news overnight. One person has been detained following a deadly shooting in Portland's Montevilla neighborhood. The shooting happened just after 2 a.m. at a bar near Southeast Harrison Street and 82nd. Police say when they got there, they found one man dead in the parking lot. Another man was hurt and taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. There's still a lot we don't know, like what led up to the shooting and how many people were involved. We're working to learn more, and we'll bring you updates as soon as we learn them.
Now to a follow-up on a KGW investigation into scammers targeting low-income Oregonians.
The Attorney General's office warned that there's been a spike in EBT skimming cases throughout the state, leaving some families with no money to buy food. KGW investigative reporter Kyle Aboshi explains why Oregonians are especially vulnerable.
Let me show you how this works. Now watch closely. Crooks will skim EBT cards by secretly installing a device on ATM readers, then drain accounts. The Oregon Attorney General warns there's been a spike in scams involving skimmers placed on ATMs, allowing crooks to steal food benefits from low-income families.
So we are seeing these skimmers being installed in all sorts of places.
Once stolen, the benefits are used to make fraudulent purchases, such as baby formula, which is then sold on the black market.
Right now, it's incredibly organized and it's happening across our country.
The scheme is nothing new. Over the past 2 years, KGW has reported on low-income Oregonians who had SNAP benefits stolen.
I know there is money in there. My money was gone.
We rely on those food benefits to eat.
So what can be done about it? Last year, the USDA pushed states to modernize SNAP benefits, including the introduction of chip cards for SNAP EBT. Currently, Oregon Trail cards used for SNAP benefits don't have a chip, making them ripe for fraud.
At what point do we start going, okay, this is too easy. We need to beef up our security here.
Earlier this year, California started issuing SNAP cards with chip technology, and Oklahoma will soon follow. But in Oregon, low-income families don't have that protection. Over the past 2 years, more than 6,000 households in the state have reported stolen benefits.
Now, here's the risk, right? As other states start to adopt better safety protocols, the criminal organizations are going to go to the places where they have not adopted it, and you're going to become more vulnerable.
Another solution? Block out-of-state purchases. Many victims we've spoken with said their stolen SNAP benefits were used elsewhere around the country. In August, the state of Maine started blocking out-of-state EBT transactions to crack down on fraud. And another solution, freeze your account when you're not using it. Think of it like locking your phone. The EBT Edge app allows users to freeze their accounts, then unfreeze when you're ready to make a purchase. That may help stop the crooks. Kyle Aboshi, KGW News.
Well, a Rainier High School principal is out of a job after being arrested for serious crimes involving minors. Earlier this week, police arrested 49-year-old Jeremy Williams at his home in Longview. The Cowlitz County Sheriff's Office says social media accounts linked to Williams were sending and receiving child sex abuse material. Williams was already on paid administrative leave for an incident that happened last week, but when a judge asked him if he was employed, he said he doesn't have a job. In a letter sent out to parents, the district said they're in the process of providing support for staff and students.
There's no known connection at this time to any students in that school district or any evidence of him having any physical contact with any minors. So far, it's just been digital files.
A judge set his bail at $100,000. Williams is due back in court next week.
Another lawsuit has been filed against the Oregon Youth Authority alleging 11 more victims were sexually abused by Dr. Edward Gary Edwards. This comes after several lawsuits were filed against the agency with similar accusations. And according to a local law firm, the latest lawsuit brings the total number of victims to 62. Dr. Edwards died earlier this year and never faced any criminal charges. The accusations stem from alleged abuse in the late 90s and into the 2000s. And in a statement, OYA told KGW can't comment on how things were handled 25 years ago, but says the agency is reminding current staff to report concerns and investigate reports as they come in.
Well, police say an explosive device was found inside a public bathroom at Sunset Beach State Park near Astoria. Park staff alerted state police of a suspicious backpack in the bathroom Tuesday morning. Police bomb technicians responded and rendered that device safe. Now, state parks did not find any other suspicious devices, leading police to believe this was an isolated incident.
This is shocking and very unfortunate. These are very strange times. People get some very strange ideas. I don't know why anyone would want to do such a thing.
Well, when we asked for specifics about that investigation, state police told KGW they can't release any more details due to it being an ongoing investigation.
Starting October 1st, the city of Portland is freezing most hiring, overtime, and employee reclassifications. Now, this move is designed to close a budget gap caused by lower than expected business, tax revenue, and other costs. Exceptions will be made for frontline police, fire, and 911 staff, along with other critical roles. City officials say that the freeze could save millions and help avoid more severe cuts later.
Well, new numbers show both Oregon and Washington have unemployment rates that are slightly above the national average. Data from August showing Washington's was at 4.5%, while Oregon's sat at 5%. Now, that's a gradual rise from 4.2% back in August of 2024. The national average, meanwhile, is about 4.3%.
The chief of staff for Portland City Councilor Candace Avalos says Avalos allocated nearly $20,000 from her office's budget to fund a trip for her and her two other staff members to Vienna, Austria, to study the city's social housing model. Her chief of staff says city councilors must submit estimates for the maximum amount that they might spend. Budget staff will then reconcile the actual cost here. And here's a breakdown that they provided. Avalos and two staff members budgeted a little more than $6,700 for flights, $3,900 for hotel, almost $2,000 for food each day, about $100 for transportation, and $7,000 in program fees. The total estimated cost came to under $20,000, or just over $6,500 a person. We reached out to Councilor Mitch Green and Jamie Dunphy, who accompanied Avalos, to ask how much each spent on the trip. Green's chief of staff estimated the trip cost over $12,000 between the two of them. Each city councilor has an official office budget of about $1.4 million and have discretion on how much to spend and on what.
Well, a week-long construction project will disrupt MAX service on Portland's east side next month. Phase 1 begins October 12th with shuttles replacing trains between Rose Quarter and Gateway. Then from October 13th to the 18th, the Red Line will be affected between Gateway and the airport. Crews will also upgrade tracks and stations, including the Northeast 82nd Avenue platform. All lines return to normal on October 19th.
Your time now is 7:39. Headed over to Chris McGinnis for a look at weather.
And we look back at that cloudy sky over downtown Portland. As expected, the marine layer has built in. It will move out later this morning, but for now we're cloudy. And at last check at PDX, now it's 59 degrees. It's a little cloudy and kind of moody along the Oregon coast as well. This is the shot from our Chinook Winds Casino Resort, Cameron, Lincoln City. Cascade Head there off in the distance. It's a little misty there, a little foggy, but you could also see some breaks in the clouds there, a sign of things to come. Above the clouds, up at Timberline Lodge, you can see this cloud deck is not very thick, but it does extend all the way into the Cascades. So it's going to take a while for this to erode, but it will. And once it does, we should have a really good looking day today. Futurecast bears that out again. Morning clouds banking up against the Cascades, and then they build westward after sunrise. And that's what's happened so far this morning. And then as we roll the clock into the afternoon, the clouds are out of here. So we should finish the day with a good deal of sunshine. Just like yesterday, I think today's going to be another breezy afternoon. The northwest winds will kick up 15 to 20 miles an hour, so you'll notice that. But I think that'll be a fairly pleasant day with, plenty of sunshine and temperatures in the 70s. It should look and feel pretty nicely. So that's the call today. Morning clouds, afternoon sun, breezy, and eventually temperatures inching into the upper 70s for daytime highs. So a little cooler for most of us than yesterday. That's what Futurecast shows. Take yesterday's high temperature and knock them down a good 3-4 degrees. Salem was in the 80s yesterday. Today we'll shoot for about 77. Still warm east of the Cascades. The Dow's in the mid 80s, upper 80s to near 90 out towards Arlington. Okay, our 7-day forecast. We're back into the 80s with sunshine on Friday and Saturday, and then over Saturday and Sunday. That is our next chance of rain. It doesn't look like a lot of rain, but if you got weekend plans, Sunday morning could be a little wet, and I'll walk you through that with Futurecast coming up in just a few minutes. Let's take a little walk on up to Clark County. You might be able to walk faster than that southbound I-5 commute at this point, but that's normal for this hour of a Thursday morning drive. It's up to 25 minutes to get you in from Main Street to the Fremont Bridge. Elsewhere on the freeway system, we'll zoom into Gladstone. I-205 southbound puttering along a bit from Gladstone to Oregon City and rolling south over the Abernathy Bridge. There's a quick look. Highway 26, that's busy too, coming down the hill from the zoo into the tunnel. Right now, that total drive in from Hillsborough, right around 25 minutes to get you into I-405.
All right, thanks, Chris. Also to come on Sunrise, the Toy Hall of Fame. Which lucky childhood favorites made it into this year's finalists when Sunrise, streaming live at 7, comes back.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
Issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yes.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW Plus.
The Federal Reserve dropped interest rates by 1/4 point yesterday. Karen Kafa has a look at what that means for consumers.
The Federal Reserve making its first rate cut since last December and making the move to prop up a U.S. labor market that is now on shaky ground. Consumers won't feel relief on loans right away, but it's a small step as the credit landscape starts to draw some concerns.
The Federal Reserve on Wednesday cutting interest rates for the first time in 2025.
In light of the shift in the balance of risks, today the Federal Open Market Committee decided to lower our policy interest rate by 1/4 percentage point.
The move comes as the Fed continues to assess the impact of President Donald Trump's tariffs on inflation, which has begun to tick up, and as the labor market shows multiple warning signs.
We've seen hiring slow. Teen unemployment is skyrocketing. Black unemployment skyrocketing. The Fed is concerned about the job market much more than they are concerned about the inflation side of their mandate.
And as credit scores fall at the fastest pace since the Great Recession, the national average FICO score dropped by 2 points this year, according to data released by the analytics company Tuesday, the most since 2009.
Inflation is sticking around. Interest rates are still really high, even with these cuts from the Fed. So it's just a really tough time for an awful lot of people.
Matt Schultz, chief consumer finance analyst for personal finance website LendingTree, says consumers can take their own steps to help reduce their debt burden rather than wait for the Fed.
There are things that you can do with interest rates that will have a bigger impact than anything that the Fed will do.
Schultz says that includes shopping around for a mortgage or auto loan, or making a balance transfer to a 0% interest credit card, or getting a debt consolidation loan to lower interest payments each month.
Remember that the Federal Reserve will likely continue to make these cuts slowly, and rates will incrementally come down from what was a 2-decade high. So any major relief on borrowing costs for consumers is still going to take some time. In Washington, I'm Karen Kafa.
The Strong Museum of Play has released the 12 finalists for the 2025 Toy Hall of Fame.
That's right. The Strong Museum says the Hall of Fame honors toys that have achieved icon status and sustained popularity over time. And this year's finalists are Battleship, Catan, Connect 4, my personal favorite, Cornhole, Furby, Scooter, Slime, Snow, Spirograph, the Star Wars lightsaber, Tickle Me Elmo, and Trivial Pursuit. Now you can vote for your favorite finalists online starting today through September 24th. Last year's inductees included My Little Pony, Transformers, and the card game Phase 10.
Battleship isn't on there already?
I think it was.
No, I mean, it's not inducted yet.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's on there, but that seems
He
like
sunk
that.
my battleship. Remember that? That's a fun game. Did you ever have electronic battleship?
No.
Oh,
you know what? I did.
The one that had, but
Pew,
yeah, that was
pew.
pretty cool.
It made all the fake noises.
But
yeah.
So we went ahead and bought the low-tech version for our kids, and my son and I kind of play that from time to time. So it's
Did you
good
have
to
a
get him-
Furby?
No, I didn't. My friends did. I was a little jealous.
I think the biggest memory of a Furby for someone who's in her mid-30s was my mom telling me what it took for her to get one at the store. Because it was like madness.
Was it like Thanksgiving, Black Friday?
I don't know. I don't remember
Fisticuffs trying to get the toy.
I don't actually remember playing with the Furby. I just remember my mom always telling me like what it took to get that thing.
You wanted it.
Tickle Me Elmo.
Delivered.
Do you remember that one Christmas everyone went nuts for Tickle Me Elmo?
Yeah.
It was insane.
Yeah, vaguely.
You got to get it for the kids.
Yes.
Oh, the things we do. All right, let's get you out the door right now. I'll give you a bigger picture here. So brief morning clouds, otherwise a cooler, breezy, really nice afternoon. We're back into the 80s, I think, tomorrow and into Saturday as well. And then looking ahead, let's focus on the weekend. I mean, it's Thursday. You want to know what your weekend's going to look like, right? So we've been talking about the rain chance. Not a lot of rain, but I think Sunday morning could be a little wet. This is what Futurecast is showing us right now. Lesser amounts to the south. More to the north is the general trend here. Again, maybe 1/10, 2/10 of an inch of rain depending on where you are. Let's time it out for you. Saturday looks actually pretty nice. If you're going to spend the last weekend of summer at the beach, good for you. It's going to be mostly sunny, I think, until late in the afternoon. Clouds creep in late in the day. Rain, though, doesn't hit the Oregon coast, it doesn't look like, until probably Saturday night, and it doesn't get into the Willamette Valley until overnight Saturday and early Sunday. But if you've got plans early Sunday morning, it could be a little wet as this front sweeps on through, and then it will, and then we'll be back to some sun breaks by Sunday afternoon. So there's the weekend rain chance in 30 seconds. All right, here's a live look right now over downtown Portland. It's mostly cloudy. The marine clouds have built in. It's 59 now at PDX. Those clouds extend all the way into the Cascades, but The cloud deck itself is pretty thin, and this is the evidence of that from Timberline Lodge. You can see the cloud deck down below. That will erode in time. In fact, Futurecast bears that out. We should be mostly sunny by noon or shortly thereafter, and the rest of our Thursday looks pretty nice. A little breezy. We'll feel the breeze pick it up just like yesterday, but a good-looking day nonetheless. 67 in Astoria today. Morning clouds, partly sunny, breezy this afternoon. In the gorge, the East Gorge will be toasty. Again, west winds 15 to 25. And across southwest Washington and northwest Oregon, whatever your high was yesterday, subtract about 2 or 3 degrees. Portland was 81 yesterday, or 82. I think we're looking at about 78 or 77. Same story in Salem this afternoon. The plan for today, mostly sunny after morning clouds and a breezy afternoon. Again, you'll feel that northwest breeze. I need to ratchet that up, actually. 5 to 10 is the average, but later on this afternoon, we'll see gusts to about 20. All right, tomorrow back into sunshine. Same story on Saturday. We talked about the weekend rain chance, and right now it looks like mostly an overnight Saturday into Sunday morning thing, with sunbreaks becoming more numerous on Sunday. And then we welcome fall. Fall officially arrives on Monday morning without much fanfare. It's actually going to be a pretty good-looking day with afternoon sun and highs in the 70s. All right, let's get you out the door. I wanted to pick it up on I-205 right now. This is at SR 14. We had a report of a disabled vehicle on the Glen Jackson Bridge, and so traffic is running a little thick on that side of town right now. That's why the 205 drive time has jumped up a little bit. The I-5 drive, though, is usually busier, and case in point, there you go. Almost 30 minutes to get you in from Main Street. Elsewhere on the system, we'll zoom in. Actually, I think we lost the Gladstone camera. This is back over at the Sylvan Hill. Highway 26 getting busy climbing the hill there. And there's the delay on the east side of Vancouver, I-205 near Mill Plain. Again, whatever was causing the delay looks like it's cleared, but there's the residual backup. So give yourself a few extra minutes there. Ladies?
Thank you, Chris. If you are hungry for some local treats, why not check out Snack Fest at the Portland Night Market? We have the details plus more local events to check out this weekend coming up.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news, live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
We have now issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yeah.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW Plus.
Hello, I'm Tim Gordon. With the bulk of the week in our rear view mirror, I'm sure plenty of you are looking forward to the weekend. I know I am. So if you're looking for something to do, we've certainly got you covered. Well, if you want to get a jump start on Halloween, for example, the 30th annual H.P. Lovecraft Film Festival and CthulhuCon returns to the Hollywood Theater all weekend long. From Friday through Sunday, you can catch showings of some of the most popular and creepy movies inspired by Lovecraft. There will also be a live pipe organ accompaniment going on and live performances too from the H.P. Lovecraft Historical Society. And for those of you looking for something more active, the 2025 MLK Dream Run takes place this Saturday and Sunday. You can run or walk a 5, 10, or 15K to help support the businesses and community in the Seoul District. You'll also be able to enjoy food from local vendors And there's even a raffle. To sign up for a run or learn more, head to mlkdreamrun.com. And if you're feeling snacky, well, you'll want to head to the Portland Night Market location on Southeast Alder for Snack Fest. The event Saturday and Sunday will include dozens of vendors selling everything from baked goods to burgers. It's free to get in. Doors open each day at 11 a.m. And if you want to give back, join the We Believe in Portland cleanup event on Friday starting at 11 a.m. Volunteers will meet at Pioneer Courthouse Square before fanning out around downtown and central east side to pick up trash. There's even an after party at Wonder Love. Visit WeBelieveInPortland.com to register in advance for that one. And for more weekend inspiration, check out the 8 Things to Do article up each week on KGW.com.
The business media brand of Fast Company has named PDX as the best design in North America for their Innovation by Design Awards. They've praised the beauty of the terminal and for meeting its sustainability goals. The new terminal uses 50% less energy, but is twice as large as the old space. Just 3 months ago, the Washington Post named the PDX the best airport in America for its unique regional features. Well, coming up at 8, the latest on a deadly shooting in Southeast Portland left one person dead and another injured. What we're learning about the investigation.
Plus, NVIDIA is making a major bet on Intel, how the two tech companies plan to team up, what it means for the future of the struggling chip maker, and how much NVIDIA is forking up to pay for the partnership.